Hi, my name is Hanane Rifai. I'm CEO of Hydrobarley. Hydrobarley is a social company where we produce and commercialize animals feed using hydroponics technology to help small farmers get access to animals feed and develop the future of their children.
Hello, my friend.
Hi.
It's so nice to see you again. You know what? It's so funny because I met you when I was in Morocco in 2020,
Yes,
and we
yes,
never ever thought about the fact that when we were together in Morocco, eating all those amazing foods and going through the market and doing all these different things, we never thought that once we left each other that the year would have turned out the way it was. And so
yes.
now going into 2021, I want to know how you're doing. I mean, like literally, it was. I usually have an order of how I'm going to ask questions, but I just want to know how are you doing, and how is your company doing, and how is the country doing during the pandemic?
During the first, really, I'm so happy meeting you and talking to you, Jody, because after 1 year now, the pandemic, it's really hard for us, as in every country. But the, the the worst thing that was, we just came back from Switzerland during our last boot camp, and I came back sick. So I started the quarantine before the quarantine in my country. So I passed, I guess, 2 weeks before, and then all things were locked down. I couldn't move to see the units of production. We stopped producing because we don't know what to do. Farmers cannot come and get the animals feed. No one knows what will happen, and really it was hard. But after I guess 1 month, when we have seen that it will not end in just 1 month or 2 months. So I asked for a permission, and I went to spend the two next months of quarantine in the farm.
Okay,
So
wait. I want
there
to.
I
Wait. I want to understand for something for a second. Um, so you were in Switzerland. You came back, and
yes,
you were sick, or the people on the group were sick.
yeah, I was sick.
Okay, so were you sick just because of a cold, or was it COVID?
No, it just cold. I thought
Okay,
it was COVID, but it was just cold. So I tried to have my medicines and all of that, but I didn't get well for a long time,
okay,
and I discovered that it was an allergy.
okay.
So it took a lot of times to get. But all people here in Morocco thought that I am COVID. I have COVID. So it was really strange going outside, and I have symptoms, but it's not COVID. It's allergy. But
Well, you know,
people
I think that
cannot understand that easily.
yeah. Well, I think that was the problem at the beginning. People were traveling. I mean, like I was in
Yeah.
Mexico. I was in Mexico in March when we started to close down, and no one knew what was going on. And so every report from all over the world was so different that if you had allergies, if you had a cold, if you had the flu, everyone was so confused at what to look for at the beginning that
Yeah.
it was just so hard. And so now you have like so now
Yes.
you're quarantining because they people are not sure, but you have allergies. Now you're trying to run the business at the same time. So how was it? I mean, how was it? I mean, how did you do it? Because how was it where before you were able to go to the farms, but like how were you able to communicate with your team? I know that, and maybe we should pause and start at the beginning. You know what? Let's just do that. Let's pause and start at the beginning because there's a lot of questions I'm going to ask that I know that people won't know. So let's
Okay.
rewind and then get to know
Okay.
you. So, one, where are you? And tell me your story before your education and before school. I mean, before your business. Tell us who you are and where you came from,
Okay.
how you were raised, because I think that there's like a part of the way you were raised that leads to the business.
Okay. So I was born in Rabat, the capital of Morocco. Uh,
I can't hear you.
yeah, there was a little bit noise. noise because my parents are here with me at the house. That's why.
You know what? And that's okay because I've had dogs, I've had children, I've had deliveries. It's okay. We're all home. We're fine.
Okay. Uh, so I was born in Rabat, in the capital of Morocco, in a small family where I had my education at as every children in Morocco. But the change started on 2006 because my parents decided to after. So sorry.
That's okay.
So, I forgot what I was saying about
No, you're talking about like so you were talking about we'll call it your
yes.
education. You're starting to talk about the education.
Yeah, it was really very not normal as every children here in Morocco. But on 2006, I got my baccalaureate degree, and my parents decided to move to the farm. My father was retired, and they decided, oh, we will leave the city and we will go to the countryside. It was hard. I didn't accept the first time because I don't like animals. I don't like farms. I don't like anything. Really, it was shocking for me.
Wait, how old were you? I mean, so you were out of college, or I mean, so what age were you?
It was about I will be starting university.
Okay.
I,
So
I was 18. I was 18 on 2006. Yes.
so are you going to university where you are going on campus, or are you going to university where you're going to university and you're coming home at the end of the day?
I should come to home at the end of the day. So
Okay.
the thing that my parents will be living on the farm, and I will be living in the city with my daughter.
Okay.
And living without my parents is something new for me. It's not something usual because here in Morocco we live all together for a long time.
Which is
Yes.
so nice. It's so nice.
Yes. So I was in a shock. I decided to focus on my studies because I was studying physics at the university, and I didn't have friends. I was really someone who went to the university and come back home at the end of the day without talking to anyone. At my second year at the university, I decided what I'm doing. Really, it's boring going to the university and coming back. I have very good marks, but what about failing at the university? I was thinking about if I fail at in 1 year, what will happen? But so I tried to meet lots of friends, learn new things, such playing cards, playing anything. I'm just looking for doing anything with some people at university just to see what will happen if I don't succeed on my studies. And then I have met a group of friends in a club named Students in Free Enterprises, which is named now Enactus. And I start to learn that there is something in parallel with studies, that we can do activities, we can travel, we can do lots of things. And in 2013, I participated with them in a week of training. And then I discovered that there is something named social entrepreneurship, and that I can have my business starting from the issues that I have in the farm, especially with all the problems that I have with animals, farms, and all that. So I decided to go back to see my parents and try to see what are the problems in the village where they are living.
Wait, can I ask
And
a question? May I ask a question?
yes,
So your parents were in the city. What did they do when what were their jobs when they were in the city? Because they went to a farm. I'm assuming they didn't know about farms, or so I'm just trying to figure out. So if this, I mean, just like you didn't want to go into the farm, they were in the city and they chose to go this route. So were they in the countryside and then they went to the city and then they went back, or were they in the city and they were like, they realized we're getting older, we want to go to the country? What was the order, and how well did
we yeah, my grandfather has a small farm, but no one goes there. My father came from a family of farmers, but he studied in the city. He grows up in the city, and he worked in the Ministry of Finance. But once he decided to get his retirement, he told us, "I don't want to stay in the city. I want to go back to the farm and see what we can do there." Because he's a person, he don't like to go to the coffees or stay with people just not doing nothing. He's very active. So when he decided to go back, my mother doesn't work, but she is a girl coming from a big family here in the city, so she didn't know anything about the farm, but she accepted the challenge and she went there. Now when she came to see me here in Rabat, it's really about one or 2 days, and it's okay, I'm going back. It's so crowded, it's so I cannot stay with you.
it's like my mother. My mother,
Really,
it's like my mother lives in Florida, and it's funny because
yeah.
they have bigger roads, and so when they're driving, there's lots of room. Here in the city, it's so tight, and so she's in my car, and you can see her doing this, and I'm like, we're in the car. She's like, oh, they're so close.
Yes.
So what was the biggest problem that you saw at the farm first? So you go back to the farm, and what was the biggest thing that you noticed that was like a big problem for your parents as well as other farmers?
It's seeing that there is some children on my age, some youth, and even older or younger, who don't know how to speak.
Okay.
Asking about that, they had never the chance to go to school. And the village is just 60 kilometers far from the capital. It's not a village which is isolated or far from a city, but they are really near to the capital of Morocco. They don't go to school just because they are forced to go to pasture and feed cattle. That was strange for me.
Yeah.
I had a chance to go to school, college, and university, and I was deciding if I continue or not. And they have lots of choices. Those children never had that choice. When they was born, obliged, we pick one of if they have four, it's one randomly. They choose one. You don't have the right to go to school. You stay just with the animals. And we have many cases there.
Wait. Stop for a second. I want to fully understand this. If you have four children,
Yes.
if you have 4 children, 2 children, 3
Yes.
children, they pick one to go to school, or they pick one and your life is no longer yours and you're in
Yes.
charge of
The second one, they pick one, and he will not have it. It's a girl or boy. They don't mind, and they pick that child and put him with the animals during all his life.
Well, that's so heartbreaking because you're watching your siblings get an education, and so
Yeah.
there's no way that they could do 1 year, one student does this, and 1 year another. Is it forever?
Yes, it's forever. The person that touched me a lot, it was a lady having, I guess now 34, and she don't speak because she never had the opportunity to talk with people during all her life. She is with animals, so she never learned how to speak with people. And we have many other children doing the same, so we will find many other young people with no life, because just because their parents cannot afford animals feed.
All right, so I don't mean to be so naive, but I really want to make sure. So when you're saying that they don't speak, I mean, obviously there are times that they're going to be with their family. Or well, how do they communicate with their family members?
It's not something easy for them, because all the family doing their jobs during the day, When they came at the end of the day, they just eat, if they have something to eat together quickly, and they should go to sleep because they will wake up earlier to go and work again.
Yeah.
So there is no really that those connections and talking within the families or something. And the child that they will pick, he will be excluded from the family,
Okay.
because raising stock or going to pasture sometimes take a week or months, far from the house. So she spent lots of time with animals. That's why I was really shocked going there and seeing those cases. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we decided to see. The first problem came to our minds is there is no school. The school is very far.
Mm-hmm.
So those families don't accept to send their girls or boys for long distances. But the surprise that on that village they had three primary school, and on 2015 they started building a college. So the building are there, the programs are there, but no one goes to school. We decided the team I was working with to go and ask professors and teachers about the situation of teaching on this village, and all of them told us that there is some children came, but they came when they are free. School became the free. We keep school for the free time. If they have work, they will not come. So no one on that village continued all the program during the year. They all the time change, and once they have work really lots of work with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
School, the teachers stay alone at the classroom, and it's okay, and no one asked for what to do. Trying to understand more because we didn't knew the life of farmers. There is lots of associations that bring cars and pay parents to encourage them to bring their children to school, but they didn't succeed. That's why we decided to go and stay with farmers and see what is the real problem, which obliged them to pick that child or to take their children from school to pasture. And it was there when we discovered that it's the price of animals feed, which is very fluctuant and not stable, sometimes very very high, and small farmers cannot afford that price. I asked a very naive question for them. Why do you have livestock? Why do you have animals? uh, it's about culture. A farmer cannot live without livestock, so we cannot ask them to do something else. They should raise their cattle. So that's at that moment we decided to see if we can have affordable animals feed for those farmers, and how to design a business model that can allow us to encourage students come back to school within our product. And
Okay. So
there
so
we launched the Hydrobarley.
so all right. So a couple of things. Um, when you are saying that it's part of the culture to have feed, like to have a livestock, is this livestock stock just to garner wealth? Like, look, I can afford it, or is it to be sold for food at a later time? Like, what is the purpose of having livestock? I know it's part of the culture, but what is the purpose of if you go to a farm, if you come to the farm in the States, or if you're in the farm in Europe, you know that they're raising those animals to be sold because that's part of the revenue for the family. What is the purpose outside of the culture, or is it only for the culture?
They sold them, but they don't have any program on their mind if uh, if I will have good revenue or not. I will give you just a small example. In 2015, when we have started, I got a sheep with 20 euros,
Yep.
and this is very cheap. Because just because it was a very hard year, there is
Yep.
no pasture, there is the price of animals feed is very high, so they just sell what they have, just to if they have 10, they will sell four, for example, to
Yep.
feed the other. So 80% they have livestock just to have livestock, just to
Okay.
say that I can have something,
Mhm.
just to go to pasture and do activity.
Understandable.
And really, if when I started to do with them some work to calculate the gain behind the livestock, there is no gain. There is lots of money that they lose because of raising stock.
Okay. So now you decide to start. You see that you clearly see the problem. There's the education
Yes.
aspect. There's the not enough money for feed because the feed is expensive. Um, there's the
Mhm.
concept of the not every child is seen equally. So how
Yeah.
did you go about solving the problem?
Uh, we decided first to solve the problem of feeding the feeds, because solving the problem for the parents will help us to go throughout education and also the equality for all children. That's why we decided to brainstorm and see what's happening around all over the world, and how we can produce cheaper, because using the traditional way of producing animals feed will not have the possibility to have something which is cheaper. That's why we decided to see what's happening, and we discovered the hydroponics. Because as I told you, I'm studying physics and I studied mathematics, and after that I studied energy. So I don't have any relation with with feeds or agriculture. So I decided to discover with many people that I know, especially my brother who was studying agriculture, and he told me about hydroponics. uh, I learned to be curious, so I tried to check on Google and all websites that are related with agriculture. So I
Isn't
learned how to do
isn't
hydroponics.
that, I think it's the funniest thing because sometimes people ask me or ask a lot of entrepreneurs, they're like, how did you learn about this? And when people say I Googled it, everyone's like, what do you mean? You didn't go to school? They're like, Google is available to get the, so I love that you just said that I Googled it. I'm always entertained by that because it is a resource that people just assume, no, I have to get
Yes,
education. No, I have to speak to a lot of people. I'm like, before you get the education, before you speak to people, Google is a great.
Google. Yes. So I try to understand, especially that I have never studied biology. I was in even if in high school I was studying just mathematics and physics.
Mhm.
So biology, I don't have any idea about it. So I decided to Google it. I asked sometimes my friends who are studying biology. I
Uh,
went to the university and asked some professors to give us a laboratory where to start our test. So I knocked all the doors, and once I succeeded the test, all people told me, "Oh, hydroponics, you should have lots of money because it's a very sophisticated technology." That lots of blah 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 blah. but but I told them, I have learned to take the big things, bring it smaller, and start somewhere. So I started in a small dish
mhm.
on plastic.
Yep.
Uh, I put the seeds on it and start to see if the seeds will give me something after 1 week, just like I read it on Google.
All right. So
Uh,
I love that. So I love that you just said that. So I'm going to stop you and ask the question of, so there's so many people that are looking to start something, and you just said it very clearly about start small and keep building up from there.
yes.
If someone says to you, I want to start my business, I keep hearing start small, but I'm so excited about jumping in right now and doing everything. What would you say to that person?
Uh, you will lose lots of times trying to start big, but you should start small, and then you will have time. Because when I have started, I didn't have money, I didn't have anything, knowledge. As we told, it's about Google. Money, my parents didn't have that much money to give me, and they refused to follow me on my dreams, because for them something they don't know, they will not put money just like that. So I have just borrow a dish from them and some seeds, and I start, because starting an idea is starting the concept first. I had to see if the technology will work with small things. And after that, if I ask someone for money, I have the proof that it works.
Mhm.
So that's where I start with nothing. I asked, as I told you, my professor for a laboratory where we can test and see the conditions of production and lots of things. And after that, I took pictures of that small dish where I did my first production, and start doing pitches. Hello, this is my product. Can you give me some money to start little bit bigger? I get 300 dollars, if we can say, as the first fund, and I was super happy, because from zero you have $300. It's really a huge amount. And then I tried to see how can I get that small dish in shelves little bit bigger. uh, $300 is very small, so I asked a lot of people on that village. They will be my client later on, but I asked them to help me on metals, on seeds, on someone some of them knows how to do fernery. I don't know how to say it. So
In regards of
really I was just asking.
so so
Sorry.
so you went and started building your community by
Yes.
the farmers to like so you start
Yes.
you created your community. So you're saying all these wonderful things that I want to stop you and grab from, because people that are right now assume, well, I'm not going to listen because it's a farmer or someone that's like talking about agriculture. But the things that you're saying work in all businesses, where wow, when you're like start small, like go to your clients, your potential clients,
Yes.
and form partnerships with it and grow that community. And then you're learning from them. So you're learning from them and you're educating. So it's a nice relationship where they're giving and you're giving to have a
Yes.
result for both. Um,
Yes.
so just to like go a little bit like rewind. I mean, I'm not rewind, but fast forward. So you are building up the company. You're getting very little funding at the beginning. The farmers are
Yes.
supporting you. Why would they want to support you? I mean, like you're new. You're a woman. You're in this like industry that you have no idea about. They've been farming for years.
Yeah.
How did you build the trust with these farmers? Because you have a beautiful smile. You have a great sense of humor. But what about like I mean you're going to total strangers and you're from the city. So how did you even get them to trust you?
First, first thing, farmers have something which is very special. If you knock his door and ask for some tea and or to discuss, they are very very warmful, and they open the door, and you have just to sit and drink that cup of tea and eat what they put for you. You don't have the right to say that I don't eat that or I don't like that. And I'm a person that I have lots of problems with foods. I don't eat lots of things, but I have learned that with them, just to do it like I'm eating, I'm doing some, I'm doing my effort. And I have my brother with me. I have lots of friends. When I came to see the community, the farmers, I came with all the team from the university. They were about 30 or 40 people coming with me. Just we have the chance to have my parents there, so we have the
I
house where to stay.
but
Yes.
you walked into a total stranger's house with 30 people and they fed 30 people?
Yeah, we just came on small groups because there is lots of houses. So each 4 5 5 person goes
Okay.
to a house. So we did discuss it with many people at the same time,
Mhm.
and they know that we came a group of 30 people to the farm of Abdeslam, which is my father. So because they are very connected between each others,
Uh-huh.
they see that many students came to that farm, and they will be visiting us. So each one try to invite us, come to see us, come to talk, come to have some drink. Really, it's something very beautiful to
I
spend
love
time
it. I love
with
it because
farmers.
for me, like I go in my, I'm thinking about the mentality in the United States where 30 people coming to my door, I have to feed them. But it is really nice when instead of just like going and um, talking business right away, getting to know the person and why they're doing
Yes.
what they're doing. I mean, this is why I'm doing these conversations, because to understand where you came from, to understand what you saw and why you're engaging with people, I'm now understanding why this worked out. Okay,
Yeah.
now you have all these people that are engaged. You have the university students, you have the professors, you have the farmers. How were they? I mean, like, were they okay with the fact that we want to educate all of our children, so we are more apt to engage with you? Were they like excited about like making sure that all their children were successful, or did they just? I mean,
Yeah.
or they just wanted to find out?
Yeah, we started. I started by engaging my parents, doing some small hours and classes on their house for children, additional courses. So many children came to them and start learning some stuffs. And when they went to school, they succeed. They have seen the change that their children have once studying. After that, we started to do some meetings on with the local I don't know how to local government, if you can say that. Yes.
Yes.
So we asked them to gather people to gather people, and we came and start talking to them, and we realized that they wanted that their children have a new life, go to school, go to the city, because they have seen some successful examples on the village, but lots of many issues block them, and they it's not about they want or not, but it's just about life. They just see that this is their life. We cannot change it. Just stay like that. But when we started to talk to them and say that we can give you affordable animals feed, you can do that, you can learn that and do it in another way, so you can gain money. And we started to do this, lots of information sessions and meetings to talk, just to talk, because farmers at the end they have a lack of information. They know lots, but they don't have the right information to use to develop their future. So we had many things to do before starting to sell our product, and it had been really 2 years or more, just talking, trying to speak about, explain the process of education, process of how to farm on a new way, the new technologies that are growing somewhere on the world. So really, it was, but you say it, building a great community and give them the trust. But after that, when we try to sell our products for the first time, they refuse.
So
They
this
refuse
is
to try it.
but there's like there's so much to this where the education of the students, the education of the farmers, the product. What is the product?
Yes.
Because people I think that this is one of the things where people that are listening to you right now may say like, well, is this an education to who? So what is the product and who is your best customer? Is it actually the farmer?
Yes.
From all this time that you're talking to people, what is the
Yeah.
product? And because like you're hearing the hydro, I can always say hydroponic.
Hydroponic.
And but so you're hearing this. Is that what the farmer is to buy? And are you teaching them about the seed? So what is it and who will serve the best? Because the end result is the children get to go to school. That's the end result. But
Yes.
what is the
Yes.
positive part for the farmer?
We started with producing animals feed using hydroponics. We built a unit of production within all the funds that we got during our pitch and competitions. What we have done, and we sold for the farmers the animals feed with a price 3 times cheaper than what exists on the market. And for the families whom have children in the age of school, we give them a 50% discount, to encourage them that if you wanted to have the 50% discount, your children should get back to school. And we engaged also professors and teachers on that village, so they give us like a report to see who's going really going to school or not, because we have learned that from the mistakes that other association was doing. They give money for the parents to help them on the charge, in order that the children went to school. They took the money and the children never went to school. So that's why we decided to engage teachers, so they told us who came and who's not.
Yeah.
So really, we were looking our system, just not to not people came. I will send my children to school. He get the discount, and after that, no one went to school.
Yeah.
So we started that model like that, and now we are selling for small farmers
Yep.
the final product, which is animals feed. For mid and big farmers, they are able to invest on materials. So we build for them units of production, and we teach them how to produce animals feed using our units of production.
Beautiful. So what? All right. So now we are going back to where we started this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What did the pandemic do for you? And I know that your brother and you have been working together to build this entire organization. So what happened? I mean, so the world shut down. You were not able to like see have these visits anymore. Where's your company now? Like what's the evolution of what did you learn during that time? What were the good things? What were the bad things? And how do you see the future of your company?
Okay. At the first month of the pandemic, which is March 2020, we didn't know where to go. We stopped producing because no one was able to buy, and I wasn't able to go to the farm to see what's happening and how we can change something or find new clients. But starting 20 April, uh, it was announced that we will be adding 2 other months with the lockdown and all that. So I decided to went and spend those 2 months on the farm near to my business, just to see what can I do and how we can change all that. Once there, I was shocked because farmers cannot buy. They don't know if because there is no markets. They are not selling their livestocks. They cannot afford anything. So everyone is confusing. They are scared because he cannot buy and feed the livestocks, and after that he will not sell it. We didn't know if Eid, which is the very important opportunity for them to sell their livestocks, it will stay or not. It was a really hard decision that the government should take. Really, no one was knowing what to do. So at that moment, I tried to gather with the whole team within Zoom, trying to see what we can do. And then we decided to rebrand our product to see our business model, how it can be uh, online, how it can be maybe in many cities, not just in one city. And at that moment, three of the team started the rebranding, and we are now changing the name from Hydrobarley to Alfi, which is animals feed in Arabic, so that our customers can remember it, because Hydrobarley is very hard for them, and they mix it with other things in Arabic. So and also we will be launching a new session of training, because lots of people ask us for trainings on hydroponics, or how they can produce even vegetables using our systems. So it's an opportunity that we are working on. And also we have find new ambassadors in the south of Morocco, and we will be at the end of this month. I will be going to Dakhla, which is the last city on our at the south.
Yep.
And I will be launching a new units of production there. So we will our economic model will be to produce near to the farmer, not to produce in the city. in one city and deliver for other cities, but we will be producing near to the farmer, so he can get affordable animals feed. He can learn from us. He can work with us. We can build the same community that we have done on the first village on new cities in Morocco and villages.
I love it. So it's very funny because whenever whenever I'm talking to you, I'm always engaged with you, and you always have fun stories. I mean, you are such energy. I mean, like you know me, I have tons of energy, and you're like so much more. Whenever I see you, I'm like, she's like, I'm exhausted. How does your family see you? How does your how do your children see you? Like, oh, I mean, you are a businesswoman. You are doing business with your brother, your family. You're with your family. I go, you're on calls, and you're like, stop talking. So how do you do all of this during a pandemic and juggle your life and your business and your team all at the same time? And I'm sorry, and you're a woman in Morocco.
Yeah.
And the phone's
First,
ringing.
it was yes, it's my mother phone is charging here near to me. uh, First of all, being a woman working on producing livestock animals feed is really shocking for all people. Especially, I am 1 meter 50, so I'm very small, and all people are
you're
shocked.
not very small. You're perfectly packaged, because whenever I saw you short, I'm like, oh, you're not. You're perfectly packaged. That's all.
So they didn't accept at the beginning, but at the end they should deal with me because I'm trying to do my best. Uh, I engaged my brother and one of my friends with me just to have two men near to me. So if you don't want to speak to a woman, here is two men. You can speak to them. So we try to separate our relations with the work. So we can see me with my brother fighting about the business. At the end of the day, we are having dinner together. We are having coffee or something like that. And I try to do the same thing with all the team. So we talk a lot. We do lots of meetings just to discuss. Sometimes we launch Google Meet or Zoom, and we start just talking about life, not about the business, just to keep that super good relation between us. And adding to my business, I'm teaching social entrepreneurship for many students in all over Morocco. So that was really funny because during the pandemic, I find a new solution to do lots of things more than what I am doing. Using Zoom and using video conferences, I can be everywhere. So I love that, and I was doing such like a radio show with a group of entrepreneurs during 2 months, April and May, and every day at 11 a.m. I take 2 hours talking to them about their businesses, just to see how they are working and to learn from them. I'm teaching them, but I learn from them. And every time I need something, I just post on Facebook or on some groups. I need someone to help me doing that, and I find lots of people. So I have a huge community that can help me doing many things, and that maybe helped me to have my position as a woman on my business and also on social entrepreneurship in Morocco.
Literally, as you're talking, you're adding more and more and more little nuggets of gold, which is amazing. I mean, it's going to be so, it's going to be so good for someone to listen to all the things that you've learned and the time. But you still didn't mention about, you're also a mom. You're a mother.
No.
Oh, I thought you said at the beginning.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
I was gonna say, like, how is she doing everything? Okay, sorry. I also thought at the beginning you were said that you were a mom.
But I have tried that feeling with my sister kid, who was spending 3 months with me last year. So I tried to manage, and I have seen that it's a little bit hard if I have children or no. maybe I will postpone it for some other years.
All right, I just want to make sure. I was like, how is she doing it all? This is, and mind you, it's very difficult. I mean, there are a lot of people that I know that are doing it all, and it's very, very difficult. It's literally stretching yourself very, very thin to make sure that you're hitting all your goals. But you were adding so many different things, and I'm like, okay, I'm now so confused on how. Two more questions that I have for you. Where do you see your industry? Like, where do you see this going in the future? Because I didn't hear the answer from you, so I wanted to ask again. Where we go, like, perfect world, the world opens up. We're able to go out. Everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, like about 60 to 70% of the world is vaccinated. How do you see people really gravitating towards your technology? And also, how will the farming community, the farming industry, gravitate towards this industry, or towards this technology?
So we started thinking about that during this year, this strange year of 2020, because we had lots of demand before the pandemic from many African countries, from farmers all over Africa asking for the technology, because they have the same issues that farmers in Morocco have. So we are trying now to see how to bring this technology to those farmers without moving to those countries. And we have seen that we can do that, and we can be on many countries and teach lots of people how to do hydroponics as we learned it at the first time, using just the technology of video conference or teaching by distance. And that's why I'm trying to see with other entrepreneurs that I have met during all programs that they have participated to in order to have ambassadors. Because trying to do I have tried for 2 years to do lots of things by myself, and wait until how to find a solution to move, for example, to Mali to do the business. I cannot be in Mali, Ghana, and in Morocco too. So that's why I'm looking now. We have launched a big ask for all people who wanted to do hydroponics, or who wanted to learn hydroponics. We can teach them, and they will be our ambassadors on those countries. And we will be doing the first test, as I told you, here in Morocco, in some cities, before going to waiting for the vaccine and all borders opening. And that at that time we can move to new countries and see how we can bring, because this is a very simple technology. It's hard to manage, but at the same time it's simple to learn. If we can find the right person who are able to learn that and to manage that on their countries, it will be really easy for us to spread the impact that we are looking for, and to bring animals feed to the shelves, and then have free soils to feed humans. Because we have lots of issues coming about agriculture and lots of things that we are trying to build that community that will help us to solve other big issues coming on the next years.
But don't people have concerns about, like, hydroponics? A lot of water, a lot of electricity, especially the electricity part. No. Okay. No, please tell me more, because for everything that we see, so
okay.
But when you're educating people, isn't that a question? Because that's a question that I would ask.
Yes. This is the first question. Because in Africa there is a huge lack of water. We have a problem with water. So many villages and farms, they don't have access to water. The technology that we are using to produce animals feed, we are using water vapor. So the amount of water that we are using is very small, because when producing vegetables, it's okay, we will need more water. But producing animals feeds, it's a little bit simple than producing vegetables for human.
Okay.
So we using water vapor. We reduce by, I guess, 4,000 times the amount of water using in traditional agriculture.
Okay.
And
I think
within some statistics, we have seen that. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Some statistics we have found that the agriculture field used to produce animal feed it's about 80% of the total amounts of field that we have. So 20% to produce human feeds and 80% to produce animals feed, which is really not a good equation to solve. So that's why we decided to focus on animals feed. To bring it to shelves, we use lead, which that it doesn't need that much electricity. We are using also a mobile app to really use just what we need of water and electricity. And at that moment, the production came 3 times cheaper than producing on the field. And we are trying to teach also the farmers that they can produce, if they have, for example, 1 hectare, they can take a small part to produce seed and then bring them to the shelves. Sorry.
I don't feel like it goes down the wrong tube. It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they can take a small part to produce seed, bring those seeds to the shelves, and then produce animals feed and produce vegetables. Because now they are just producing animals feed and they buy vegetables from the market.
Understand. What would you say to someone? What would you say? Are you okay? Are you? Oh, take another sip. All right, you cough, and I'm going to ask a question. You're on mute. What would you say to someone that is a woman that is looking at you, seeing what you've produced, seeing the team that you've built? What would you say? Wipe away the tears. People are going to think that you're crying because I'm making you cry. Wipe away the tears. What would you say to any woman in Morocco that is looking to start their own businesses, but they never thought it was possible? And then they're looking at you, and you're like, you're everywhere. You're forming a community. You have these like strong people that are around you. What advice would you give to them in regards of where do I start?
The first thing that women needs here, I guess, here in Morocco, that they should believe on themselves, because the majority of women said that I'm a woman, I can do that. Just try, just start somewhere. And now we have many people that they won't help women to start, but we don't find those women. So the first thing, they should believe on themselves. They can. As I started, everyone can start. And also to bring with, if she cannot as a woman to start alone, bring someone with you, a friend, a brother, someone that you don't never know. If you work together and all things are good, it's good. If it doesn't work, we should stop and look for someone else. I have changed my team, I guess 10 times. If we cannot work together. Sorry?
No, I was gonna say, I think that's like the best advice you could ever say to someone is, if you have a dream, if you have a mission, if you want to do something, if you don't start, it's just gonna stay in your head. And just knowing that starting and recruiting someone that you know and you trust to be there with you is very, very important. Which I think that a lot of people are afraid to ask. They're afraid to have their idea diminished, so they don't ask at all.
And also share your idea with many people. Once sharing your idea, you will get more ideas to start somewhere. Even if they will tell you that it will not work, you should see it will help you. Because if it will not work and you keep it for yourself and you have 1 million, I guess, dollar and started, you will fail. But sharing with other people, you have some feedback. I didn't have any idea about agriculture. And when I started, I was speaking about hydroponics to all people that I know. And many of them told me, you should shut down, you should not speak. They will steal your idea. My idea is on Google. Just Google it and you will find it.
It was so funny that you said that, because someone asked me the other day, like, I go, what if I have a great idea? I want it to be proprietary. I'm like, you know what? There are like 10,000 people around the world probably coming up with the same idea, but only one person actually doing it.
I had a conversation with some students here in Morocco last week, and they asked me how to have the great idea. I told them that you should not have the great idea, but you should have a great team.
Yeah.
Just recruit people, and at that moment we recruit many times. We recruit the first time. The person is not good or is not the right person for that job. Just change him. It's okay to change people and recruit at many as we can. Because people are afraid to say to someone, you are not the right person for that post. I think that's the advantage I have. So it's easy for me to say to people, you are not done for that job. Just go and look for something else.
I think that's
As I
a
told you, I have
strength.
to.
I was gonna say,
Yes.
I think that's a strength that people don't have. They want to be liked, and they don't understand that you may not be liked, but you'll run a business that's strong. And so sometimes people take it this professional and this personal, and they intertwine it, and it makes it hard. So I have
Yes.
one question for you.
Yes.
Last question. If you had, and I mean,
Okay.
this has been really, and I feel bad
Okay.
asking the last question because it's the last, and we're done. But I mean, because I've taken so much of your time. But you've given me so much gold in regards to all these different lessons. But I want to go back to you. If you had a personal ask and a professional ask of anyone that's listening right now, what is your personal ask and what is your professional ask of anyone that's listening?
I will start with the professional because it's easier. Professional one is that the professional ask that you will be asking for anyone who is watching us is, if you believe, if you have a small contact with farmers, with someone that can be with us on Hydrobarley, on or help will help us to do something new to help farmers improve their lives. just just connect with us and be with us on the team. For the personal one, the personal one, I don't know. Really, I don't know.
I was gonna say you're the first person where like I go. You're the first person where like I go. I don't know. You know what the thing is? I give you the opportunity because we work so hard that we're always asking for our businesses, and you said it. If you just said it, if you don't ask, you don't get. So I say you might as well ask for your personal and your professional at the same time. It's okay if you don't have one, but I give you the opportunity.
Yes, maybe finding someone to bring Hydroballet bigger will help me also on my personal life.
Okay, well, we'll take it. I'll take that. Hannah, thank you so very much. I mean, this has been so amazing. One, I love the fact that I got to see your smile. I got to catch up with you. But also,
Thank you.
but like when we were together in January 2020, it was all business all the time. And just to get to know who you are and just
Yes.
understand like how this all came to be, where it was just because, I mean, imagine if your parents never left the city. Like this would have never existed if your parents never left
Yes.
the city. And so I think that everyone needs to
Yeah.
understand that something happens in your life because your life, you said it, your life was a normal, regular life until that one moment. And one moment of time can change it for 10 zillion. So all the people that you're touching their lives right now because your parents decided to leave the city it's amazing. I mean, so thank you very much for helping the students, helping we'll call the future of the young people in Morocco, helping the farmers, and bringing the team of university specialists to see and view the world in a different way. So you are doing you're doing such a great job of bringing so many people together. So bravo, bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you,
And I
sister.
go,
Thank
and
you.
I go, and this is not the last conversation. I'm gonna start bringing people together again because even after we get over the pandemic, whenever that is, the conversation of small businesses on innovation never ends, and we should always keep the conversation going. And I tell people, even if your company doesn't succeed, you still have that knowledge that will go to the next thing that you do because entrepreneurs never stop at the first thing.
Yes, you are totally right.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very
Hopefully
much.
one day we will see you soon. So hopefully
Yes,
I love the
hopefully.
fact that I get to see you this way. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And
Bye.
bye.